These are the two things that nobody's telling you about new construction. So as you see here, we've already gotten a lot of our finishes installed, like our cabinets, doors, hardware. We even have our floors installed throughout the entire home. But if you also look, we have none of our outlets, none of our lights, none of our switches, or none of our electrical fixtures installed. And that is solely because we do not have power to the home yet. In fact, I have all of the light fixtures here waiting to be installed by our electrical sub. But again, we do not have power on site for them to test it out and make sure they actually work. This is our meter base that comes from the county or our electrical service company. And basically there's usually a globe here and it's the meter. And that tells us how much power we consume, yada, yada, yada. But right now, as you see, they've already got the meter base set. They've already ran the electrical lines that run to it. However, they have not connected it to the pole, so we can't have power on site. This one step alone of them connecting the electrical lines to the pole is the only thing that's delaying me from finishing this project, which leads to the first point. So there are always going to be things that are beyond your control, especially when you're working on new construction projects. However, you just got to keep rolling with it. You got to find ways to get around it and ultimately just work through them to keep your project on track as much as possible. So the unfortunate part is your hands are really tied until the previous company does what they're supposed to do. So then you can get what you need done. But the only thing that you really can do is continue to follow up with the electrical service company, and then make sure your guys are on standby as much as possible. That way, when the electrical company finishes what they need to do, your guys are ready to go in. It's also important to have reliable guys. That way they know, look, hey, Isaac really needs this done, and we're going to get it done within a reasonable time frame for him. More often than not, majority of the delays that you experience are usually beyond your control and you can't really do anything about it. So for example, we had a toilet came in damaged. We checked it, but there was a hairline fracture that we didn't see. So my plumbers weren't able to install it. We've had material that came on site damaged or cabinets that were broken. So we had to order new cabinets and it may be a week lead time. Ultimately, having these delays leads to the second point. There is an incredible amount of pressure to get this house built and sold within a short time frame. The pressure to get this house sold comes from a variety of different factors. So one of them being the time of year. So historically speaking, towards the end of the year, it is always harder or takes longer to get a house sold because the days on market is longer. So we even have the holidays. We have Thanksgiving coming up, which means our activity may be a little bit slower. We have Christmas coming up and then New Year's. So my goal is to get this home closed by December, by end of December at the latest. But with all of these different holidays, as well as the historic winter timeline being a little bit slower, it's going to be a lot of pressure to get this home listed, sold, and ready to go before that end of December timeframe. The other aspect is my timeline from my lender. So while I do have 9 months for my construction loan, every day that I hold this loan, I pay about $58 in interest. To make sure I can hit my margins for this project as far as profit, I don't want to hold this loan for no more than 90 days. And so as we get into the holiday season and into early January, if I still have this construction loan because this home hasn't closed, I'm going to significantly decrease my profit margin. The cash that I would make from this home sale will basically be used to fund the next 2 home builds in this same community. If this home does not close until January or February of next year, that ultimately delays when I can start the next 2 projects. As far as my timeline, I was targeting a mid-November contract on this home with a completion date of end of November. So we could then close like mid-December, mid to late December. Best case scenario, they get the power to the house, or finished up rather, on Monday. And if so, we're good to go. I'm gonna call my electrician. He'll be over here Tuesday. We get all the fixtures on. And then we'll get the rest of the items done as well. I've also already got the house listed. I'm a realtor as well, so I've already listed at home. But unfortunately, we haven't had any showings in this first week, which kind of concerns me. I'm not too concerned, but I'm gonna keep being on the lookout for it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.